Okay, the next step is actually several. We're going to give ourselves a little more room. The next step will be actually installing the entire harness, motors, and switch, and kind of getting everything tucked away. The final tucking will be separate, but this is where we're going. The Malenki is all the way up into the pocket. Motors have been installed. The wiring all fits nice. The switch is mounted. So this is where we're going. So again, with having set up the harness so that it's single layer, power and ground for our servo, signal for our servo, and then our motor wires tucked nicely there. This all slides up into the pocket. And again, you'll want to, in competition, you'll want this all electrical taped. Everything other than the LEDs. So you've got your red and blue LEDs that are right up there. So don't cover these two elements, but you can wrap the whole rest of this with electrical tape or thin heat shrink to keep anything from touching the contacts. That's always good practice, is to cover any exposed contacts on a circuit board with at least electrical tape. So again, this will slide up into that pocket. We'll double check our arrangement of wires and go ahead and tuck that up into there, and we'll mount the left motor first. And what you don't want to do is to put the chassis down flat on a surface and then just mash this in, because there are motor retention features. You can see this beam right here and this beam right here, and they actually engage the top edges of the gearbox to help hold that down and keep everything really nice and secure. So if you just jam this in there, then you can damage those retention features. So we're going to pry the chassis open just a little bit. You don't want to bend it too much and induce too much stress. So we're just gently bending it as we push. When you do it right, there's just barely any stress marks there below the motor, and we have not damaged the retention features, and it's in there quite well. It snaps in nice and tight, which helps it drive nice. So again, we want the Malenki to be tucked up all the way in there. Our power is going to come across here. And so we got that. So this is one of those areas of putting in the work. Make this nice and tidy now, and it will reward you later with everything reaching nicely. So we want power to be over there. We actually want power to run above this motor connector. So this is again where I would say putting in the work, keeping everything nice and tight. There we go. That's nice. So this will put our switch over there nicely. Let us get our servo connector over there nicely. The left side motor connector will be, will end up closer to the front than the right side. So this, with the laser engraving up, will go like that. And again, we will start to line this up, and while gently prying the chassis open and having the motor nice and square. Trying to make sure you can see this too. Slide that in, snaps in nice, doesn't leave too much marks, didn't damage those too badly. So that is how we will want all this arranged. The discharge cable from the battery will run across the front also. the next step is actually installing the switch itself.